Velocity is special to me because mostly the field group aspect. It's been a great way to stay connected to my faith and to other people, especially during the pandemic. We were doing like Zoom meetings and then we met in person a little bit later, but it's just been a great way to be like, okay, I know like I'm gonna definitely be in my word on Mondays and I'm gonna definitely have people to talk about that with. And if anything was going on, we were very open and vulnerable with each other, which was something I don't really have at home. Like I'm a faith, but my family really isn't anymore. And so it was just great to be able to talk to other people and be like, hey, this is what I'm going through, and listen to how other people are dealing with things. So that's been a really great aspect, especially when church was done and then we were online and it was just kind of weird to not have that community. So that's been great. So later when I was more in my faith, I transitioned from just following rules and guidelines of the Bible to like, why am I doing that? Why does God want us to do these things? And that was a huge part of me really being in my faith and not just like following directions. And so I think that's been a great way for me to grow and learn and build my relationship with God, is that I'm actually being like, okay, like he says not do this, and why is that? And like, how does that make my life better? Like when I switch from doing something I used to do to something that's more in God's path and God's walk for me. So how field groups really helped me and made me grow my faith is that I had done a Bible study in college, and so I knew I wanted something similar, but I was kind of scared. And after going to the sermon at Velocity, I was like, okay, so this is a cool place, so field group should be pretty okay. And I'm super like socially anxious, so I was like, I don't know how this is gonna work, but I'm just gonna go. And I remember the day I was like, I'm just not gonna go. It's fine. I'm just not gonna go. And then I was like, I got in my car and I was like, okay, I have to just peel the Band-Aid off. And so we met at a coffee shop in Willoughby. And it's funny, one of the members was crossing the street the same time I was, and he like opened a door for me, and he like we walked the same direction. We were like, oh, we're going to the same place. And so that's Dave. Shout out to Dave. And so we sat down, and he like everyone made me a spot, and I was like, hi, I'm Devan, and there's another girl named Devan in the field group. So it was just like all these things that were like, you should be here. I think the encouragement I would give to someone going through a tough time is that just take it one day at a time. I'm a very like anxious person in general, and I have to remind myself of that. Even when I was not in the faith and I am now, just taking things one day at a time makes it a lot better, because then you're not thinking of everything and it's not freaking you out and things like that. So if you're not a faith, just taking it slow, figuring out what you have to do every day, figuring out where you could possibly make ends meet either way. Daily is probably the easiest thing. And if you are a faith, like even just like ending your day or starting your day with like a small prayer, like, hey God, thanks for waking me up this morning, or hey God, like thanks for letting me take a moment to rest. Definitely just like calms your whole spirit. And so that's a great way to just take a breath and get through things, because sometimes we're so wound up about everything that's going on and things not going right that we just get too wound up and we crash and burn. And so when you can have that time to just be like take a breath and think about like, where can I go from here, and kind of step back from the whole situation, it makes things a lot easier.